Hello, collective. Okay, so I'm changed the view so you can all see the cards. So let me see if I could just make this a little bit better. I can push this back a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit crooked. I think that's good. I just want to make sure you see the cards. Okay, so can you tell us about silence and conflicted? Tell us about silence and conflicted. This is part 2. Okay. Fool, the fool. Somebody's keeping quiet. They're conflicted about having a new beginning. Someone may be conflicted about a new beginning, starting over, being a fool, taking a chance with something. Knight of Wands. This could be a Knight of Wands energy, fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or just someone who embodies that. This person could be perceived as a player energy, someone who goes back and forth. Or it could just be somebody who was very active and, but look at this, we have the 3 of Cups. Yeah, so this person could have had different options, may have been paying attention to other people, but they may be, excuse me. My throat chakra wants to fuck up with me, right? Fuck up with me. So someone is like, maybe someone does have options, trying to find the best option, the best choice that will lead them to a new beginning. I mean, if they are dealing with other people, it could be that, but it could also be about how they could come together with you so that you and them can have a good time, that you and them could have a good rapport and good communication and good, share emotions and just be in each other's company, because the 3 of Cups has to do with friendship too, but with the decision, multiple choice, hot and cold, it could be that, we also have the Star card coming out. So this person can be healing from a situation, or it could be their wish. Maybe they're trying to figure out, maybe they're praying, doing some sort of rituals to help them with making the best decisions for themselves. They may be taking time alone. They may be performing magic too. I mean, if they're into that, you will know if that person's into that kind of stuff. Tell me about sacrifice and apology. I saw the 2 of Cups. Sacrifice and apology. A couple cards flip, but I'm not going to take them because I don't know when they flipped. Sacrifice and apology. That was weird. That was weird. Oh, the 2 cards that flipped, I'm going to flip them over. There was the Knight of Wands. The King of Wands, the Queen of Wands and the Hermit flipped. So let's see if they come out for sacrifice and apology. Tell me about sacrifice and apology. Tell me about sacrifice and apology. Sacrifice and apology. Sacrifice and apology. Okay. It's funny because I see the 7 of Cups. This has to do with having multiple options, choices, disillusions, confusion, mental confusion, emotional confusion. But we also have the 5 of Swords showing up, which has to do with conflict, controversy, disagreements, even mental conflict. So somebody is having emotional and mental conflict, and they're needing to have some sort of clarity, to be honest with themselves, with the Queen of Swords showing up, needing to see the truth, needing clarity, needing to be clear about a decision that they need to make. Maybe there was some sort of conflict where they made you feel like you were an option, right? And they may be wanting to come forward and apologize, admit that they did something wrong. But I want to know, oh, look at the Tower card. Like if the sacrifice and forgiveness, whatever you did, like cutting this person off, it might be something that shocks them. That may have shocked them that you did this. And that may be why. I mean, maybe with you doing that, it kind of gives them the time and space to gain some clarity about whatever your friendship or family conflict, dynamic, relationship, love dynamic, confusion, whatever is going on. to get some more clarity, and also to bring justice. We're currently in Libra season, so justice, it makes sense. It could be also, yeah, them needing to see the light, you know, needing to look at both perspectives. You know, because when you go to court, right, you have the plaintiff and you have the defendant. Everybody has to tell their side of the story, and then there's a judge who decides the fate, you know, how they can make a situation fair and just, how they could bring balance into a situation and compensate someone properly, you know, based on the evidence, you know. So it could be somebody's gaining evidence, information, understanding, clarity, and they're realizing how they may have been unfair and how they may have even caused this tower moment, you know, that caused the need to move away and, you know, go rogue, essentially, because when you see her, she's going rogue. She's on her own, moving away from something that, you know, isn't really doing her any good, other than, you know, maybe this person felt like they were doing so much that in a way they felt like they were sacrificing themselves for something that wasn't really clear, you know, wasn't really clearly defined. It could be. But the thing is, like, when you get that realization, because, you know, if you think about it too, like this independent card also kind of reminds me of the Queen of Wands, which we saw earlier. I said was flipped over earlier. But independent, it makes sense because the Queen of Wands is someone who is confident, you know. She takes the leadership, you know. She's confident, creative, but she's also someone who takes control of her life by living her life by her own purpose. You know, she defines herself. She doesn't let anyone else define her. So with me saying that, some of you probably felt like whatever definition or lack of definition in whatever dynamic you were dealing with, and this sounds more so romantic than anything, it's like, well, you know what, if this isn't a relationship, then that means I'm single and I don't have to give as much as I used to. I don't have to sacrifice my energy towards something that's not even a relationship anymore. I was in a situation where I was giving but thinking that it could lead to something because of how it seemed, the interactions, the level of intimacy and vulnerability that was shared. But then it's like the realization that no, there's nothing coming of this. So I don't have to give as much as I did before, because there's nothing leading to a commitment. So whatever energy, whatever generosity, I don't have to extend that anymore. Not in the same way, because the way I would treat the man I'm with was the things I was doing with this person, you know. So since you're not my man, I don't have to do that anymore. I'm going to do that for the person who will be my man, you know. So I'm giving that as an example because that may be what's going on. And I know a lot of people find themselves in that situation, regardless of their gender. You could be a man and you could have been pouring into a woman, you know, being there financially, providing for her, caring for her, loving on her, and she didn't want a relationship with you, you know, and you thought that what you had what was going on between you two was something special, but in reality, it really wasn't, you know? So you're learning as a man, as a divine masculine, because I'm hoping you're becoming a divine masculine, the same way I'm hoping that you feminines are becoming divine feminines as I'm becoming a divine feminine, you know, that we learn how to take care of ourselves better, you know? So it goes both ways. Women take advantage of men just as much as men take advantage of women. I'm not saying I was taken advantage of, but I was giving into a situation that wasn't going to lead anywhere. So I learned, I'm like, I don't have to give to you anymore. I don't have to be as generous as I used to be, you know? It's funny because look, the Four of Pentacles flipped over. And the Four of Pentacles is about being at this place of financial security, but it's also kind of holding on tightly so that you don't lose anything. Because you feel safe and secure with the financial stability, abundance stability that you're currently in, right? Energetic stability that you have. But you may be afraid that what if I give and then I end up in the Five of Pentacles where I'm at lack. So some of you may be holding back because of past experiences where you felt like you were being generous, overly generous, right? Not really wanting to take the risk, you're not wanting to take the risk now to possibly sacrifice your energy, your time and your energy towards something that may not even be anything, you know? So you're going to be a bit more discerning and more, I don't want to say restrictive, but I think the best word is conservative with how you're going to be more conservative with how you expend your emotional, your mental, your physical energy towards someone in the future. You know, considering you moving towards what could possibly be out there for you when it comes to love. You know? Yeah, you want to invest in situations where, you know, you want to give into a situation. You want it to be a sure thing where you invest in something where there is growth, where you don't have to worry about being at lack, but where there's growth. It's like you totally want to skip the 5 of Pentacles and go straight into the 6 and just move on all the way up to 7, 8, and 9, 10, you know? But it's about it being reciprocal in some ways. So you want to it's like you want to meet with someone with possibilities, right? Or be in a friendship, right? Let's even say that, where you're both giving into each other so that you could totally feel like you just skipped the 5 of Pentacles, where you feel you have a scarcity mindset, but you just like one person gives their pentacle and then another person puts their pentacle. Like you put your 1 in, that becomes 5, and then you know for sure this person's going to put in theirs. So it takes you to the 6, you know? So then there's this sense of abundance where you can give and take, but in a reciprocal manner, you know, and in a loving manner with the 2 of Cups. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So I have a couple more minutes left. So I want to see what other messages we could get. I want to see what's underneath the deck. Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is someone who takes rash action, sometimes maybe a bit impulsive. So I think some of you may be even holding back from being impulsive. Because probably before it was just like automatic, the way you could give to somebody. When you start to develop feelings for them, it was like you ran on automatic. But then eventually you started to run on E, and then you get like, yo, I got to cut this shit out. So let's see what your sacred soul messages are. And then we're going to close out this reading. What messages does the collective need to know that resonates with this reading? Oh, what is planted in your soul will sprout. Just giving the Ace of Pentacles, you know, so you want to invest in something that you know you could deeply commit to, and that will deeply commit to you, so that you can see growth, where you can see prosperity, and there's the possibility of longevity as well. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So the one, let the water settle and the stars will be mirrored in you. So this is about taking time and taking the time out, reflecting, you know, going into your independent hermit energy and taking time to introspect and reflect on everything you've experienced, so that as you're going into this new phase in your life, you could make sure that whatever you're moving into is a reflection of what you want, and that you're a reflection of what you desire as well. Because it goes both ways. You want to attract what you are. I mean, if you want someone to be a specific way, like caring, loving, generous, attentive, affectionate, all that stuff, then you also have to be that too. You have to be a reflection of that as well. And to praise the sun is to praise your own eyes, seeing clearly, gratitude, happy with your life. So this is asking for you to, despite any challenges you face, to continue to have gratitude for everything that you do have, and to always keep your eyes clear. Don't allow yourself to be disillusioned by your hopes and your wishes, and not saying things for what they truly are. Being clear and concise and honest with yourself, and honest with the information, actions that are being reflected to you. And yeah, like attracts like. Like attracts like. Be with those who help you being. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to Artemis Oracle. My name is Tan. I'm your reader, and I'm wishing you a great next 72 hours ahead. Bye.